I've had a lot of people ask me what gear and what equipment I brought with me when I did my Pacific Crest Trail thru hike. I'm going to finish up that series today and talk to you about my first aid kit, what I brought with me as far as first aid is concerned, and also my electronics kit. So stay tuned and I'll tell you some things that I brought with me on my Pacific Crest Trail thru hike. Hello and welcome back. If you've not had a chance to look at the other videos that I've put out on the different gear that I brought with me on my PCT hike, be sure and do so. Also, if you'd like to download a gear list of the different sections that I went on the PCT, the desert section, NorCal, Sierra, Washington, Oregon, if you'd like to download the gear that I brought on those specific sections of the PCT, then go to any one of my videos, go down to the description section, and be sure and download those gear lists, and you can print it out and you can use it as you go and pick out your gear. Now today I want to finish up this series that I began on the gear that I brought with me on my PCT hike. And today I want to talk about the stuff that I brought with me in my first aid kit. My first aid kit did not deviate from when I left Campo until I arrived at the northern terminus on the Canadian border. Now, listen, I'm just going to warn you. Here's a spoiler warning. I know you're going to look at this list and you're going to say, is that all you brought with you? And yes, it was. This is my entire first aid kit. It consists of some KT tape, Leukotape, which I put on blisters, as well as Moleskin that I also used in case I got hot spots and used it for blisters. Anti-diarrheal pills, assorted band-aids. I had some assorted ointments and creams. Benadryl, which is what I used if I had an allergic reaction. In fact, one time I had washed off in a lake and got, it's called lake ick or a itch or whatever. And that night I had to take some Benadryl because I was itching like crazy. Then I have some, I had some Ibuprofen and then a pen to burst any blisters that I had. And then I don't have it here, but or I don't have it in this shot, but I have just a regular buff that I used in case I cut myself. I could wrap it with the buff, which worked really fine. Then I kept everything in this little plastic bag. Now next I want to talk to you about my electronics that I brought with me on the PCT. First was my Anker PowerCore 20100 power bank. This external battery charged at nighttime my headlamp, my GPS Garmin inReach Mini, and of course my phone. It had two ports where I could charge two items at the same time, and so therefore I did not have to worry about charging one and not being able to charge others. I may have been able to get by with a smaller power bank, but I did not want to worry about not having enough power in the backcountry. Next was the Anker PowerPort 2 Elite Wall Charger. Whenever I would get into a trail town and checked into a motel, I would immediately charge my phone and my power bank with the 2 ports that were in the wall charger. Next was the cell phone that I brought with me on my PCT journey. And again, I'm recording this video with my phone, but it was the Apple iPhone X phone. In the backcountry, I would use my phone for photos, for videos, for GPS. I used the GutHook app. I would use it to listen to music or podcasts. And of course, when I got into a trail town and checked into a motel that had good internet service, I would download all of my videos that I had recorded on the trail. I would download it to the iMovie app on my phone. I would edit those videos, put them together, and then download it to YouTube. Next, I brought USB cables and lightning cables to charge up, like I said, my phone or my headlamp batteries or the Garmin inReach GPS system. Next, I brought with me some wired headphones, and I cut one of the headphones off and just used that one to listen to music and the Bible and different things that I had on my phone. Next was my Joby GorillaPod mobile mini tripod. I would secure my phone to the tripod and set it up on a rock or on the ground or on a limb of a tree and record videos of me walking by, either going towards the camera or going away from the camera. Next was my Garmin inReach Mini GPS. I use the Garmin inReach mainly to send a ping out every 9 minutes. I believe it's either 9 or 11 minutes to let people know exactly where I was. There was also an SOS button on the Garmin inReach in case I needed it in case of emergency. The Garmin inReach was also in sync with an Iridium satellite that was in the sky that could send text messages to anyone in the world, and even if you didn't have cell service, it was connected to that satellite. Now, it did take a little while to send a message out and to receive a message, but even if you didn't have any cell service, you could also send messages through that mini Garmin inReach. Next, I wore every day a Casio Pro Trek watch. This watch, which by the way wasn't very expensive, was used to not only, of course, tell time, but it also had the ability to accurately tell the temperature. It also had an altimeter on there that could tell the altitude that you were at that particular time. It also had a small barometer on it that could tell you the barometric pressure and whether good weather was coming in or bad weather was coming in. And the last thing that I brought in the way of electronics was my headlamp. I carried the Petzel Actik Core headlamp, which, by the way, was a rechargeable headlamp. I connected it to the external battery every night and recharged the rechargeable battery on it. Now, that was it as far as my electronics was concerned. There were some miscellaneous items that I did not include in any of the other gear sections that I did videos on. The first thing was an ice axe, and I only carried that when I went into the Sierra and sent it back when I finished the Sierra. And then I also carried a mosquito net and mosquito spray, DEET 100. Boy, you talking about stinking. Woo! But it sure would keep the mosquitoes away from you. Now again, if you've not had a chance to look at the other videos that I did in my series on the PCT Gear List, be sure and do so. Especially if you're planning on taking a through hike of any length, Perhaps maybe these ideas of gear that I brought with me on my hike and worked for me, perhaps maybe they could work for you as well. If you have any questions whatsoever concerning any of the gear that I brought, or if you have any questions concerning my thru hike of the PCT, then please be sure and leave that question in the comments section below. And perhaps maybe if you have some gear that perhaps maybe that helped you out on your thru hike or your section hike or your overnight hike, then please be sure and leave that comment in the comments section below. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. I'll be putting out some more helpful videos as far as hiking and backpacking is concerned. So, as always, I'll see you down the trail.